All right, so the new bike, 2019 MT-10 in Ice Flow, yeah, I think it's called Ice Flow. At first I hated the color scheme when I saw it in pictures and on the internet, but now I absolutely love it. It's a perfect match for my Dainese leathers, and I absolutely love it. So I sold my 2017 MT-09 to pick up this bike. A buddy of mine has a blue 2017 MT-10, and I made the mistake of sitting on it, and the ergos on this MT-10 fit me like a glove. I'm 5'11", 185 pounds. My MT-09 was fully upgraded with an Öhlins fully adjustable shock in the rear, Öhlins springs and cartridges and valve set in the front. It had an Akrapovic full system exhaust, Woolwich Racing, reflash, high flow air filter, rear sets, Pro Taper Carmichael bend handlebar. It was upgraded up the wazoo. But for the ergonomics, I went after this MT-10, and I have absolutely no regrets. This bike is head and shoulders better than my MT-09, effortlessly so, and my MT-09 was spec'd out even higher than an MT-09
It's an ugly bike.
SP. Okay, ignore the troll that we call Gimli there. Anyway, I think it's beautiful.
Ugly as
what can I tell you? First impressions. The stock pegs, I don't need to change them out. My toes don't catch, but I'm knee dragging just fine. No hard bits drag whatsoever. Of course, as I said, the ergonomics are perfect. My knees grab the tank right where they should. It's easy to hang off, it's effortless. The handlebar is narrower, of course, than the Pro Taper Carmichael. And the grips remarkably seem slimmer than the MT-09. And I love how they feel. The levers are great. I don't feel the need to upgrade them or change them in any way. A lot of the reviews said that the brakes were very weak on the MT-10. They weren't up to snuff, but they're not that way for me. And I had sintered brake pads on my MT-09, and they bit like crazy. The bike isn't as strong, but the brakes are more than adequate. They've got great feel. I love that I can squeeze it. It gives me more control. It's not an on-off kind of brake. Speaking of on-off, so far we're only 2 weeks into this. I've got about 600 kilometers on the clock, and the throttle does not feel snatchy, even though I'm shifting more or less at the recommended 6,000 RPM for break-in. I love the exhaust note. It sounds absolutely wonderful, though I am tempted to get the Akrapovic slip-on, because a buddy of mine has it, and it gives the bike just a slightly deeper, slightly louder tone. What else can I tell you? The power pulses on this engine, comparing with the CP3 of the 09, this CP4 is buttery smooth and has so much torque. It is effortlessly faster than the MT-09. The gearing is so tall. First gear, you're cruising at 60 kph, maybe more. Second gear, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm a canyon rider, and I'm down one gear, and it's amazing. The quick shifter is better than on the 09. This is smoother, more precise, less clunky. It feels great. The suspension, stock suspension out of the box I'm 5'11", 185 pounds. I haven't touched the suspension one bit. My first impression was that the suspension was stiff, in a good way, not in a bad way. And riding the very same canyon twisties that I did with my 09 with full Öhlins upgrades, I don't feel the need to make any adjustments to the stock settings of this MT-10, which is remarkable and wonderful. The passenger pegs, I don't have to take them off. I wear a size 12 boot, and I had to take them off on the 09 because my heels would constantly catch on the passenger pegs. Not so with this bike. It's like there's nothing to upgrade. There's no need to upgrade anything. Maybe put some sliders, some crash protection or whatever, but this bike just performs. It is absolutely wonderful. I love it. Rode it on the highway for the first time yesterday. Wind protection, I wasn't looking for any more. Of course, I only got up maybe to but yeah, what can I say? Loving the new bike. Yesterday was kind of a long distance kind of ride, a little bit of a long distance kind of ride-ish, rather than simply canyon carving. And coming from a comfort seat on the 09 to the stock seat on the 10, I did kind of feel my butt getting sore after an hour. So there's that. The dash is much easier to read than on the 09. The speedometer, the gear shift indicator, everything is just so much easier to read. Clutch is a little bit heavier, but you would expect that. It's not ridiculous. The only thing that I don't like, I like the headlights on the 09 better, but this is really growing on me, and I wish that this was still a flasher for the headlights. Gonna have to get used to using this. It's a different layout, but you know, it's not a deal breaker in any way. Sorry, the bike's a little bit dirty. Haven't cleaned it after about 3 canyon runs and yesterday's highway run. The mirrors, for some reason, though they look the same, or they look to even be shorter in the stock, they seem to be out wider, and I can really see behind me a whole lot better than I could on the 09. Okay, let's talk about how the bike handles. Believe it or not, it turns in better than the 09. And believe it, because it's got the shorter wheelbase. It also has that electronic steering damper. I've never had a bike with a steering damper. This bike handles. It's telling me I've got to go in deeper and flick the bike quicker. It just carries more speed effortlessly into the corners. Now, by saying more speed, it's not, you're not forcing the issue. It's just that's what the bike likes. You know, the same level of effort, but a whole different level of performance. All right, so that's it for my 2-week ride review, 600 kilometers. Loving the bike, absolutely loving it. There's no need to upgrade anything. Upgrade if you want, but there is no need to. All right, well, thanks guys. If you got any comments or questions, let me know in the comments below.